Hey y'all, aren't you exhausted? I'm your biggest Beck bitch host, Ashley, and today I am coming to you from an Airbnb in Savannah, Georgia. I'm out here on a work trip with my husband. We both had some meetings that had to been in-person meetings, and it just so happens that we had to be in Georgia for that. And now we have some downtime. He's at the office right now. I am here alone for a little while. So I thought, what better time than now, especially with this lighting, to give you guys some updates on some things. So if you don't know, I'm telling you now, some shit went down with Beck's now ex-girlfriend. Some people found out about her Tumblr. Now, apparently this stuff had been found out last year when they first initially started dating. Somebody found Dakota's Tumblr with some worrying stuff and brought it forward. And no reaction channel picked it up for whatever reason. And I think it was more so that Dakota wasn't a proponent of Beck's vlogs or anything to do with Girl World, really, until we found out that they were an ex-Girl Worlder, or still kind of a Girl Worlder. They were a member of the community before meeting Beck. And I think over the course of time, after everybody found out about Dakota and what they were doing online, the course of the conversation started changing because Dakota was becoming more prominent as a voice there in the background to Beck's live streams that they were having discussing Amberlynn. Kind of trying to add to the story, if you will, of those forgotten parts that Beck may have, conveniently left out for whatever reason. Now, I know it's been slow going for reaction channels to pick this up as of now. The only reason I didn't pick it up when I first started seeing it pop up again was because I've been busy, obviously. I've been very busy. And this isn't my main source of, income. So the stuff that's actually earning me income comes well before this. And I finally had a little bit of downtime to process everything and, read everything and find out what the hell is going on. But apparently Dakota has had, in the past, being 10 years ago-ish, interactions with minors that were inappropriate. Setting up cuddle applications. Now, mind you, she was 20 at the time, early 20s. And these were children, 13 and under children. Not appropriate at all. And it's really hard to stick up for somebody that's doing that kind of stuff. And the fact that Beck came out this has been ruminating for a year, but the fact that when it really started popping off on some of the outlier reaction channels like Charlie Gold, and I believe Alex Shook has covered it, Beck came out with a statement and pretty much said that they had split, but people are calling that split into question because both of their profiles, although they don't list whether or not they're in a relationship, it's not listing that either one of them are split, if you will. And people are calling it into question because it's not like anybody else in Girl World says that they're broken up with somebody when sometimes they're not actually broken up with somebody, i.e. Amberlynn, i.e. Chantal, i.e. Shani. All these people have said they've broken up with significant others just to turn back around and not be. And then get caught later. So, yes, people are calling it into question, and there's a good reason for that. But I believe Beck gave Amber a lot of chances during their time together, and there were times that Beck wanted to break up with them, and didn't, and stayed because Amber pleaded, and who knows what's going on with Dakota. I think what gets me about Dakota is Dakota looked for Beck and interacted with Beck in a way that they knew they could manipulate the situation. It's really crappy when you know the lore going into it, and so you know what buttons not to push and what things to say to persuade things, i.e. this relationship. And I don't know. It's just really gross. And I really hope that Beck did get away from this person. But also a part of me is like, Beck had to have known what was going on that Tumblr. And maybe Dakota described it in a way that seemed more innocent than it was. But, And the thing that got me with the Shoto King, or whatever that's called, it's like an interest in young boys. Something to that effect. And the fact that Beck does look like a young boy. Let's just throw it out there. They do. So that fetish is being realized legally in Beck with Dakota, which makes it even more creepy. Anyhow. Yeah, and then Emily coming for or not Emily, Amber coming for Erica and Brittany. Brittany kind of egging it on and saying some things that they could have fit. They definitely could have fit for what Amber's going through right now and what Amber has said about people in the past. Could I see Amber's mom's boyfriend, fiance, saying something and Amber taking it the wrong way, or just outright saying something and probably being inappropriate? Yes, both sides I can see. Why Amber wouldn't relay this information to her mom and instead telling Erica and Brittany about it. That seems kind of up Amber's MO. The Rarity thing, scratching her, giving her cellulitis, and that's why she got rid of Rarity. I don't see that one as much. I don't know. She fought hard to get Rarity. Why would she do that? I just think she was lazy over everything. I think she was lazy and got too comfortable, and that was the repercussion of that she has to live with the rest of her life, that she lost her cat, and that cat is probably, not to be morbid, probably dead. It was middle of winter. It was an unfamiliar environment, and that cat has never been outdoors to live a day in its life. So, yeah. Anyhow, that's about all I got. I'm going to post the screenshots and stuff somewhere. And, yeah, you guys, that's about it. This is a short one. I'm treating this kind of like as a mini vacation of sorts. So we're going to be walking around. We're kind of like in the old part of town. But there's like a lot of like little nice shops and like cafes and stuff. And I think we're planning on going to a diner tonight. It's a really nice vintage diner. So I may do some recording in there, show you guys what that's like, take you on the walk with us, and yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.